Thank you for joining me here today, and what a beautiful day it is, and welcome. And Father Mike, I come in Christian love to you and all your viewers. I'm sitting there thinking, how are we ever going to overcome this in relation to the roles within the church for women, particularly in leadership, decision making. And suddenly Mary came to me, as always, and she said, I want you to tell them to look at me. Look at me, a woman where it all began. She said to me that we were to look back to the saints, to the women saints and to the virgin martyrs. We were to look at them as an example of historical evidence and Christian tradition that showed the great roles these women played. These women were women of strength and courage and hope, and they were filled by the Holy Spirit that led them. These women were tortured, imprisoned, beheaded, burnt at the stake, torched by the flames. They were buried alive. They were dragged through the streets naked and beheaded. They were thrown into prostitution. Their tongues were cut out. They were thrown to the lions. These brave, courageous women who helped build our church because they would rather die than denounce, their belief in Jesus. Their strength, their courage, their belief, their fortitude, their faith paralleled those of any other male. Mary said we must remember them and bring them forth to give us strength. But there was more. I came to understand that Mary revealed to me through this rush of the Holy Spirit that filled me with such passion and understanding from being so desolate, discouraged but not giving up. And Mary helped me. What we have to do as women of the church, we have to believe that like these martyrs and these saints, that we too are capable of such courage and strength to lead, to make decisions that are best for this church and for the good of all. And it rises from historical roots of all those women that have helped build up this church. You see, until we realise that, Mary helped me understand, then we will always believe that we have to stay in a position where we will never be able to lead. But we can. We can lead. Not above, not a little below, but beside the men. And we can do it proudly because we are part of a Christian tradition where those women, they died for this faith. They never gave up. We have to believe in ourselves as women. We have to stand strong. And this is what's happening in these surveys. This is what is coming through. Why can't we lead? The saints, the martyrs, all those other women did. Why can't we? faith is just as strong. Our love is pure. We are willing. The Holy Spirit enters women as well as men. Let us stand together, all those women and all those men too that believe that women should be able to hold these leadership roles and be part of the decision making. We have no idea what really goes on in the Vatican at all. We don't really understand the relationships that form within it, but we can see what's happening. God's unveiling it to us, that this structure, this male hierarchical structure, is not working. And we need to do something about that, and we can. The revelations that Mary is revealing to me, which I could not think of, shows to me that Mary, Jesus and God want this to happen. They want women alongside the men in decision making, in evangelizing and in consecrating the Eucharist. Father Mike, Bishop Barron, women will always be a huge part of this church. And as you can see, there is a much higher percentage that is leaning towards women's ordination. The reason Jesus came was to open up a much greater understanding of God's love and mercy, especially for those who were oppressed and marginalized, that were being excluded from God's kingdom. And Jesus said, no, come to me. Come to me, all who are weary and overburdened, and I will give you rest. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.